All right, today I'm going to teach you how to do literal equations. So here are the steps. Step 1, if there are fractions in the equation, you want to multiply by both sides. And then you'll want to perform any distributive property. And you want to note the side with the variable you want to solve for. And then you can divide both sides by the equation by any factors. All right, that's a lot of steps. Okay, so let's just get to it. Number 13. It says you want to solve for t. Where did it go? You need to solve for t, and that means you want to get it by itself. So it says p is equal to IRT. What that means is it's all being multiplied together. So your main goal is to get t by itself. So you need to do the opposite operation. So it's all multiplying, so the opposite operation of multiplication is division. So you divide both sides by IR to accomplish the goal. So when you cancel out the I and you cancel out the R, you get t. And that's exactly what you want to do, is to get your t by itself. You just solved the equation for t. Number 14 says we want to get w by itself, because that's what's in parentheses. So what you can do first is distribute the 2 on both sides. Actually, just distribute the 2 to the L and also to the W. So A is equal to 2L plus 2W. Now your main goal is to get your W by itself. So you're going to add or subtract. It's positive, so we're going to subtract 2L on both sides. So A minus 2L is equal to 2W. Is your W alone? It is not. So it says 2 times W. So the opposite of times is divide. So you divide by 2 on both sides. So you get W is equal to A minus 2L over 2. Now you can leave it like that, or you can divide each of your numerators by your denominator. So A over 2 minus 2L over 2. And if you notice, you can simplify this right here. So it is really A over 2 minus L. So this would be acceptable, and this would be acceptable. Okay? All right. Number 15 says that we want to get my y by itself. If you notice, that is actually in standard form. So what you're going to do is get it into slope-intercept form, because we know that you want to get your y by itself. So you always add or subtract the x. If your x is positive, you're going to subtract. What you do to one side, you do to the other. So negative 3y is equal to negative 2x plus 8. Or you can write it as 8 minus 2x. So now you want to get your y by itself, so you're going to divide by negative 3. So the 3's cancel out, so y equals negative divided by negative is a positive. So positive 2/3 x. Okay, a positive divided by negative is a negative. 3 does not go into 8, so it stays a fraction. And we just got my y by itself. Number 16. It says we want to get x by itself. So that means that we want to isolate the variable. So it's actually in slope-intercept form. You know that 5 is your slope, your negative 6 is your y-intercept. So we want to get x alone. So what you're going to do is add or subtract the other thing. So I'm going to add 6 on both sides because it was a minus. So y plus 6 is equal to 5x. Now get your x alone, so you're going to divide. What you do to one side, you do to the other. So y plus 6 over 5 is equal to x. And what do you notice? X is by itself. And number 17, y equals mx plus b. That is the slope-intercept form. You want to get your b by itself, your y-intercept. So I am going to add or subtract the mx. It's positive, so I'm going to subtract. So y minus mx is equal to b. Yay, b is by itself. And you're done. Number 18 says a is equal to 2 times p times r. Again, whenever they're next to each other, it's multiplication. So we know the opposite of multiplication is division. So I am going to divide by the 2 And the p, what you do to one side, you do to the other, because they cancel each other out and it becomes a 1. 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 times r is just going to be r. So your final answer is r is equal to a over 2p. And that is how you solve literal equations.